everybody, welcome to the Oldish. It is my pleasure to welcome you here on this very snowy day. When I look out the window, I see that white stuff falling and it hasn't stopped all day. I think it's going to continue into the weekend. I'm going to hibernate. Anyway, it is a pleasure to be here with you. We are live today. So if you have any comments or questions, leave them down below and we will see them here. We can put you on the screen and we can answer your questions. First of all, let me tell you that today is World Day of Bullying Prevention Day. So, bullying happens in all places, at all ages, and I particularly want to shine a light on the bullying of older adults. You know, it happens quite a bit, and if you see something, please try to help somebody out. Please try to have a conversation with the individual. Oftentimes people are too ashamed that their children are bullying them or that their partner is bullying them. Please be the light that shines in their life for them and help to bring it to a stop. At least let them know that they're not alone and that they have options. That would be helpful. So there you go. World Day of Bullying Prevention. I want to touch on our video from last week because you may or may not realize this or know this, but I get a lot of direct messages. People do post publicly on our Facebook page, but I get a lot of questions and comments direct messaged to me. So from time to time, I like to address those in a more public forum, and that's what I'm going to do right now. Let's take a look at this first of all. This is our video from last week. Move myself over here. Can your home save you from hospital overcrowding? And you can see there were 10,000 views. So, and 10 shares, but 10,000 views. This is something that is of concern to a lot of people. So I definitely want to highlight that, bring it to your attention. How do I get back to me now? There we go. Whoops. You know, some of our technology has not worked quite right since Mac did their update, and I'm struggling a little, so, you know, let's be real. Anyway, I got 3 top comments messaged to me privately by a lot of people. I'd say I had upwards of 60 plus comments on this, and they all kind of have the same solution. So let me tell you what the categories were. What if my house can't be renovated with a bedroom and a bathroom on the main floor? Secondly, don't need to move or renovate. My kids are going to look after me. So they were basically sort of poo-pooing the idea of having to spend the money and renovate it all. Thirdly, they were talking about how they would just go into a long-term care facility if they became unable to live in their own house. So, like I said, all of these kinds of comments have a similar answer from me anyway, and that is, how important is it to you that you call your own shots? How important is your independence to you? It's kind of what it boils down to. You know, if your house, as it stands now, is not able to be renovated to accommodate a bedroom and a bathroom on the main floor, you need to move. That's all there is to that. You need to move. Now, I say that flippantly, like, you know, it's a solution for everybody. It's a process. And you do need to consider where you can live your best life and be the most independent that you can possibly be. So if you can't have a bedroom and bathroom on the main floor of your house, that means your house isn't working for you. It is not working with you. It is not working with your needs. So you need to take a look at other kinds of accommodation. Yes, it will take you some time. Yes, it is difficult to move away from a home that you've lived in 15, 20, 25, 50 years. Yes, that's difficult. Is it more difficult than having your own independent space and living on your own in a space that works with you, that you can manage? You know the answer to that. I don't have that answer. But you don't get to complain to me about your house not being able to accommodate a renovation on the main floor when you're not willing to look at what the solutions are. The main solution is move. That's all there is to it. Your kids will look after you. Well, that's not very independent, is it? It is really not an independent state of living if everybody has to look after you. And quite frankly, they've probably got their own lives to look after. I know we all like to imagine that our children are going to be there for us, and I'm sure that they would love to. But you know, this business of let's take mom shopping at the grocery store once a week has a way of turning into mom needs to go to the doctor, mom needs to go to the clothing store, dad needs to go to the barber, dad needs to go to a medical appointment, and I need to take the day off work. You know, it all has a way of changing into something more than anybody ever intended, faster than anybody ever intended. So again, this is your independence. How independent do you want to be? As I have said before, if you've got the money, honey, you can bring all the services right to your door. No problem. You can turn your living space, whether it's your house or a condo or an apartment somewhere, you can turn it all into your own long-term care facility. What happens when those people who are bringing those services to you can't do it anymore? What happens then? You're kind of stuck. So it's better really to make your own arrangements and sort out a way of living that you love, that can help you be independent, that puts you on an equal footing with people. You know, I kind of think my kids would like me to stay being mom. As soon as they become my caregiver, I'm not mom so much anymore. I'm their duty, their obligation, their charge. I'm not their mom who used to tell them bedtime stories. And I don't care how old your kids are. They want their mom or their dad. So I want that to continue being the case in my family. Again, this is something you have to sort out for yourself. Now, in regard to long-term care spaces, the whole reason for our show last week was because there simply aren't enough long-term care spaces. There aren't enough nursing homes, there aren't enough long-term care facilities, and depending on what country you live in, that problem may be more or less. I know in the area where I live, it's a huge problem. They simply aren't building more long-term care facilities. They are downloading all of those responsibilities to local municipalities and, frankly, to families. They are downloading the responsibilities for long-term care to families, and by definition, to individuals. So whether we want it or not, we're being told we have to make our own plans. That's okay with me. I'm happy to make my own plans. As I've told you before, I sold my house last year. Sold my house, moved into an apartment. That's my choice. I want to stay as independent as possible. I have now downgraded the amount of work I have to do and upkeep I have to do on a house that is far too big for me anymore. My kids are grown and gone. So that has been my choice. You may make different choices, but at the crux of it is how independent do you want to be? How much do you want to make the rules in your own life? There you go. That is that. Now, let's move to something that is a little more fun. Did you see this? The Bachelor is casting for seniors. Is that fun? Are you a Bachelor watcher? I'm not so much. Honestly, I find it all a little yucky. And I'm not sure whether I find it more yucky if it's females or if it's males. I'm really not sure. I just find the whole thing 2 hours every week that I'll never get back. However, I am actually kind of delighted to see this attention to an older adult population. As I understand it, they are casting season 24. I don't even know what season they're on now, but season 24 of The Bachelor. So that is what they are doing right now. Do you love it? Whoops, there we go. Do you love that? I've been getting some comments on it, actually, private comments. The comments on our Facebook page are, yay. They're at least paying attention. The comments I've been getting 5 of them. I got 5 of them, I guess 5 different categories. Who needs another man to look after? Some of the gals out there are just happy with life the way it is. Their partner, they have divorced their partner or their partner has passed on. Who needs it? Don't need another man. Other people are saying dating is really frightening. That's true. So much has changed. In the old days, you used to meet people at church. I say the old days. I mean, I'm 65. The old days for me were meeting people through friends of friends. Back in my parents' and grandparents' day, they met at church. They had dances, community dances. Everybody lived in the same sort of small community and they met that way. But yeah, dating has now become app-based. Swipe right, swipe left. I'm not sure what it is. There are a lot of creepers, it seems, on these various apps. So yeah, it's a little intimidating to be dating. People are not wanting to go into bars. Or they don't like the bar scene. I never liked the bar scene. What did you think of that? How do you date? If you're single, how do you date? I don't know. People are scared of being taken advantage of. That's a very real thing. And the 5th comment I got a lot of was men my age want women 20 or 30 years younger. So men of whatever age are not wanting to date women of their own age. They're wanting those young things. Yeah. I saw, which actor was this? Was this Robert De Niro or it was somebody like that? And their much younger girlfriend has left them. It was a very high profile actor. His younger girlfriend has left him. She said it's hard to be with somebody so old. Talk about turning the tables, right? That woman really turned the tables. I think she was in her 40s. It's Al Pacino, Robert De Niro. His girlfriend says it's very hard to be with somebody that old, and he was 80, I believe. 80 years old. So that is that. So, dating, easy for some, not so easy for others. Dating is definitely different than when it was when we were younger. Now let's take a look at something else I have up here. This is, oh yes, this one here. It's 3 a.m. Why am I still awake? This is on our website. Our website is theoldish.com. Let me just move myself out of the way. It's 3 a.m. Why am I awake? Seems to be a problem a lot of people have. I put it on our Facebook page and said, raise your hand if you're having trouble sleeping. Yep, they're having a lot of trouble sleeping, various people. To pee, then awake for a couple of hours playing games on my iPad. Yeah. And here Linda is saying she wakes up at 3 a.m. and can't get back to sleep. 3 a.m. seems to be a very tricky hour for a lot of people. Is it tricky for you? Is it 3 a.m.? Seems to be for me if I'm going to wake up. Let's go back here. This one. Yes, this one I completely want to show you. This is amazing. This article I published in February of 2018. 2018, and yet for some reason it has just blown up like crazy. 3.6 thousand shares. Imagine this. 3.6 thousand shares. Honestly, I've never had an article with that many shares. So it kind of tickles me, but I kind of wonder how this article from February 2018 got found. But, I'm sort of liking all the comments on it. I like that. I like to think of myself as a senior. Elderly sounds too damn old. Yes, Ben, I agree with you. Liz is thanking us for sharing. That's just great. Ronald says, I told you I was still that young. Matt says, you're only as old as you feel. Stay fit and mingle with the young at heart. Helena says there's a big difference between how your head feels and your crumbling body. My brain is still adolescent. Everything else feels as old as Methuselah. Billy and Wilma say it's all in how you feel mentally and physically. Mary Jo, yes, I have heard this as well, Mary Jo, that 10 years older than whatever age you are now is something that you regard as old. So if you're 40, you think that 50 is kind of old. If you're 60, you think that 70 is old. I'll tell you, the older I get, the more that 10-year gap seems to matter. Wendy says, I guess I'm in middle age. So this is actually a chart that was done by the World Health Organization. They have reorganized aging. How about that? They have reorganized it. Oops, let's go back here. There we go. So middle-aged is now, according to the WHO, 66 to 79. Elderly or senior is 80 to 99. And if you're over 100, you are a long-lived elderly person. Kind of like that. I kind of like that. What do you think about that, everybody? What do you think? I think that's kind of cool. I kind of like being middle-aged again when I thought I wasn't. There you go. So if you want to look up that article, it's from February 2018. Thanks to all of you who are sharing it, because it has really just blown up. I am amazed. I am absolutely amazed. So, folks, that is our show for today, live and in person. Leave your comments below if you have any comments about anything. But of course, I always pay attention to those private messages, as you can tell, because our show was based on a lot of private messages today. So be well. Join us next Wednesday at 12 noon. And until then, please do remember that it takes a village to age a senior.